Oh, no worries, man. How you doing?
Doing fine, thanks. And I apologize for yesterday also.
Oh, that's quite all right. You know, in this business, anything can happen at any time.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So I hear you're
Well,
up in New York right now?
we're right in the middle of downtown Times Square, Manhattan, big city. Yeah, we're gonna play at Lincoln Center. It's great.
Isn't it a great
Pretty
city, man?
peaceful this time of year.
I
It
know.
really is, and it's peaceful this time of year.
Yeah, it's my old stomping grounds. Haven't been back since '91, so I'm extremely jealous right now.
Oh, no kidding. Oh man, I gotta tell you, I had a piece of pizza.
Ugh. Is it the kind where you fold it in half and the grease runs down your arm?
Just a little bit. It's thin and crispy, and there's something in the dough. I don't even like the crust, but it was so flaky and perfect tasting. I've never had anything like it anywhere in the world.
The secret is, and I'm going to tell you, my dad had 4 delis up in Long Island, and we had a pizza place right next door.
Is it
The whole,
the water?
the water, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we're down here in Florida, and we're trying to get bagels. We're trying to get good pizza. And there's actually one pizza place near us that actually brings in water from New York for the pizza. And serious, it's ridiculous. Listen,
I don't believe it.
yeah, they actually advertise that, we ship water from New York, because people from New York that are down here, they know it's all about the water.
You can tell. Yeah, they got one in California, too. I think they fly the dough over from New York, but I don't know if they put the water in. So it's close.
Yeah,
Not there.
I hear you.
It is so perfect.
Dude, I know you're a really busy guy, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity. We're looking forward to seeing you March 11th at the casino at Dania Beach. They just completely redid this whole casino and this whole venue, and I think you guys are like the grand opening act, so it's going to be our first time there since the renovation, so...
Oh, that's good news, Bill. I'm looking forward to this.
Definitely. I want to ask you, at what point in your life did you know that you wanted to make music a part of your career?
Trying to remember if I ever wanted to be anything else, like being a little kid, you want to be an astronaut or a fireman.
Sure.
But I think the first thing I wanted to be was maybe a publisher of Playboy or something. No, I think...
Anything with a P in front of it, yeah.
In those days, yeah, as long as I remember, I wanted to play music because I was one of those kids that was always jumping around, buying pots and pans, singing and dancing. It was a whole family. Mm-hmm. All my brothers and sisters pretty much did the same thing. My mom would play the piano, and my dad would dance around like Jackie Gleason. So we were just kind of that way, and I knew, especially when I saw the Beatles. So many musicians can say when they saw the Beatles, they knew that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it's the same for me, but it's because of the Screaming Girls.
Sure.
We were just thinking, wow, those girls must be really easy to talk to. Because they're crying.
That's why I picked up a guitar, man, for the girls.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and everyone says, oh, you're trying to get girls. No, we didn't even know what getting girls was, but we knew it would make it easier to talk to them, and that's really all you want as a male.
Sure.
It's the same dream. Same dream today. But anyway, that was definitely a turning point, and I'm sure that so many of the folks that we know in this business would say it was that moment. And I have it. It's on Ed Sullivan. I bought the DVDs so I can watch them, and I like to watch that. There's probably the night that I was watching as a little 6-year-old when I knew, and I can almost pinpoint it, and like feel it go in the back of my brain.
Now, aside from the Beatles, who were some other artists you may have looked up to growing up that may have influenced the style of music that you play?
There was a lot of stuff on TV and on the radio. Elvis was still the king, through the 60s. He was still the king. So that was just a huge, exciting moment. Whenever he would play on TV or we had a chance to hear him or see him, he was still a big deal.
Yeah.
As time went on, though, the radio, we started getting a lot of Motown and the Supremes, I think, were one of the biggest selling acts of the era. They have sold more records than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
We loved the Supremes. My sister loved the Supremes and the Temptations. As I got to hear this stuff on the radio, and all of it would just knock you out. James Brown would come on, or Stevie Wonder. We would just lose our minds. It was so cool. It was just the coolest music. And which led to Marvin Gaye and Al Green. Later it became Sly and the Family Stone, and Chicago, the horn band started to come in. But when I was a kid, I also heard Cream. It was a huge deal for me. The Cream and The Who was maybe one of the biggest deals for me. My first band, we used to just play the whole rock opera and try and sing it and everything. So I was way into that from a very young age. Starting in 7th grade, I was trying to play guitar like Pete Townsend. So those were just massive turning points. And close to later on, those days where Jethro Tull was very popular because of their live show.
Yeah.
Go to Madison Square Garden to see Tull. It was an event. It was really cool. It was almost like Broadway meets rock and roll. It was very theatrical. He would dress up like a Don Quixote, and wild phenomenon. And that lasted a few years. It was a lot of fun. And just so much music over the ages that had a huge impact on me. And I know I'm forgetting a lot. But as we talk about horn bands, you want to talk about Chicago and Earth, Wind and Fire, Tower of Power. That sound was something that just sizzled so perfectly. I had to become a horn player.
Sure. I was actually 2 weeks ago with Peter Cetera actually down here. What a fantastic guy. He's phenomenal, man, and still has the voice, I tell you. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, I still watch the youth. Actually, that was my first concert I ever went to as a kid. It was Chicago and the Doobie Brothers.
Oh, wow.
So I still watch those videos, and especially the early ones when you see Peter Cetera just singing like nobody's business, which he never stopped doing. I think you're right; his voice is still there.
Yep.
But wow, what a combination when they had Terry Kath on guitar.
Right.
It's just the memories. It's wonderful that you can watch that stuff on YouTube, and even the bands that you never got to see, you can see them. There they are.
Exactly. Now, as you play guitar, keyboard, sax, I'm sure you were inspired with the flute playing, by Jethro Tull, and started taking that up and stuff. Are you self-taught as a musician?
No, I had a lot of lessons over the years. When I was growing up, we had a bunch of kids in our family, so my parents were always looking for places to drop us off. And guitar lessons, that was one of the first places. No, they started before that. I had drum lessons when I was in 3rd grade.
Wow.
That's how anxious they were to get rid of me. And I don't blame them, by the way. I don't blame them at all. I was anxious to get out of there, too. I was always like an adult trapped in a child's body.
Oh, gosh.
I was this little grown-up running around. So I started drum lessons in 3rd grade with Muzzy Mazzoni in around Booton, New Jersey. And it was a huge deal. My father thought that it would quiet me down, like, look, the kid's an idiot, right? And Muzzy said, no, actually, he has some talent. He should start lessons. Something like that with, like, Homer Simpson. There I was in drum lessons. And then they pulled me out of there and made me take piano. And then I went back to drums. So I just loved music from the beginning. I took tons of lessons. I was so lucky to grow up in a school system that had tremendous teachers.
Yeah.
Later on, through high school, and I just couldn't believe how fortunate I was. Life-changing instructors in Mendon, New Jersey. And then on to college. I went to Berkeley and got a degree in jazz composition. Oh. So I had really great instructors. Joe Viola, one of the best woodwind teachers that ever lived, was teaching at Berkeley, and I was fortunate enough to study with him for a good solid year, maybe 2. Just so lucky. I just lucked my way in. Talking about the Beatles, they had him on a retainer when they were going to tour with Sgt. Pepper. They wanted him to be the clarinet player.
No kidding.
He was on standby. Yeah.
Wow.
But he's legendary, and so it's a long answer to a short question. I had a lot of really tremendous instruction, and I feel very fortunate. Yes.
Now you're fortunate as well because number one, you're playing in one of the biggest rock bands ever. I mean, Foreigner. Who does not know Foreigner? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and you've been fortunate enough to be with both Lou Gramm, the original, founding singer, and with Kelly, who is amazing as well. Are there any differences working with the two, or is it just basically it's just another show?
In terms of how we interact with them, it is very similar.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they want to happen,
Hmm.
and they're just waiting for it to happen. And so as long as we do everything right, they take the ball and score the touchdown.
Yeah.
It's incredible to see lead singers that have that ability. So in that regard, they're very similar. But 10 years with Lou, 10 years with Kelly, so great to see them run this music the way they do. And, Kelly really had a large task in front of him when he was trying to take the place of Lou, who I'm sure you know the story. I don't think he wanted to tour as much as we do. And,
Yeah.
his own thing with his own band. And it was sad. We understood, but, he had to live life on his own terms. So Mick wasn't sure what to do at that point, and he took some time and said, "Oh, what the heck? Let's put this band back on the road."
Yeah.
And Jason, they reformed the band, and we got Chuck Tilson on bass, and we found Kelly Hansen. Just the most phenomenal frontman, probably the only guy that could have handled this job.
Sure.
So lucked out on that deal. Big time. He just took the ball, and he's like a home run hitter. Hits it out of the park every single night.
Yeah.
Every time he steps up to the mic, he just hits the ball out of the park. So I can't say enough great things about him. And it's been marvelous to be part of both incarnations and to see Mick steering the ship and taking us into some really pleasant waters.
I hear you. Now, could you say the same for Aerosmith as well?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Could
There's
you?
only one singer over there.
Yeah, but you've played with Aerosmith, and pretty much same thing, right? They know what they want, they go with it, and they sell it every night.
Yeah, it's a different world over there. Steven is extremely cognizant of every note that everyone is playing.
Yeah.
He hears everything. Every micro timing, every inflection, he hears everything. He's like a supercomputer recording every single nuance.
He's like a Don Henley, huh?
Oh, times a billion. I can't even.
Really?
He's like a multi-track recorder, but he's recording 64 tracks.
Ugh.
And he'll come out like a week later and say, "Last Thursday, remember the second verse? You came in with that note. Can you try and just scoop into it a little bit more, and then just add some gravel?"
Gravel. I like that.
I was singing with it. I was singing the harmonies with it. He's like, "Yeah, can you gravel it up a little bit?" Sure, here you go. Big White Wolf Man, that's it, okay. Which is one of my favorite sounds. We were talking about this the other day. Remember that song, "Keep Away from Rolling Around Sue"?
Yes, Dion. Yeah.
Yeah, the way he would distort his voice like that, going back to Elvis Presley and Rachel Hound Dog. That was the first time I ever heard it, and that was the reason I wanted to be in rock and roll, was for that distortion.
Yep.
Yeah, and so that's what we did over in Aerosmith. We gravel it up. And
It's interesting.
He was just phenomenal. But he would scrutinize, but he would tell you the good stuff. He'd say, "You did this thing. I love that thing you did." And he would hear everything. And once in a while, he would correct someone, whether it was me or someone else in the band. And I think someone came up to me once and said, "It wouldn't be so bad if he wasn't always right."
Yeah. Well, I actually live about 8 miles from Dion DiMucci, because he's up here in Boca. And you know what? I got to see if I can connect with him and get him to the show.
Oh, man, that would be so great. We were just all talking about how much we love that song, especially our bass player Jeff. He was saying that song is swings.
Yeah.
Big time. So, you let them know with fans.
Definitely, definitely. So, what's next for you personally and for Foreigner down the road? Anything new happening?
I think we're just gearing up for what will be our 40th year anniversary next year.
That's-
came out in '77, so
That's crazy.
I think 2017 has got to be 4 years, and so we'll see what happens. But this year we're finishing up some acoustic shows. We're doing the electric shows. We're just getting started. We're going to do tons of shows like we do every year. We do over 100, and sometimes we'll pair up with another act. Sometimes we just go it alone, and we're always enjoying it in any situation.
Well, we know you're doing it for the enjoyment because you guys certainly probably don't need the money.
It's a lot of fun. I will say that. Yes.
Actually, roadied for Green Day for 3 months during their Dookie album, so it is fun traveling the road and all that. I mean, I enjoyed it, so I know the kind of life you guys live, and it's not for everyone, but for me, I loved it.
True, and it's gotten better with all the convenience of the modern technology.
Yeah.
Easier to stay in touch with family. You have guys that have kids. They're on the video with them, helping them do their homework, even though they're out of town.
Sure.
So, in some ways, it has gotten easier. But you're right; it's still a lot of traveling, and that's not for everyone. But in our case, most people would say we never had a choice. Like music shows us. This is a life that was just automatic.
Yeah.
And if you love the music like we do to get to this level, that's usually the case.
Well, Tom, I want to thank you so much for your time, your consideration, this opportunity again. We're actually going to be reviewing the show that night, so if we can come back and say hi, that would be awesome.
Yeah, me too.
All right, excellent. And we also do a lot of work with the Miami Dolphins Foundation, the football team. They do a ton of stuff for education, for sports education. They feed hungry families for Thanksgiving and Christmas time, around Easter. And what we do is we go out, we buy guitars, we get them signed. We just gave them some from Melissa Etheridge, Little River Band, and a bunch of other stuff. And if we could bring like 2 guitars back and you guys could sign them, we would love to donate them over to them.
Oh, we'd be delighted to help out.
All right, I'll get with John Lappin, and I have paperwork from the foundation. I'll send him and see if we get it done.
Oh, that sounds great, Bill.
All right, Tom. Thanks again, and take a bite out of the Big Apple for me.
I sure will. We'll bring you some pizza.
All right, awesome. See you soon, man.
Take care, man.
Later, bro.